Hi, everyone. My name is Dave Scahill, and with me is Sandy and Pudia. We are from the Discovery Source, and we're super excited to be working and partnering with the Early Learning Coalition of Polk County and the United Way of Central Florida to bring you social emotional kits for your infants and toddlers. We're going to do an unpacking of the kit that you've received to kind of give you an idea of what's inside and a little bit of what you can do with it. And we'll be following up later with more information for you to help you utilize these materials to your best ability. So inside the kit, we have a scripted story that you can read to the babies about Tucker Turtle. Tucker Turtle is at Sunny Stream School, and he has a bunch of friends, and he learns how to self-regulate himself. And along with the book, which comes in English on one side and Spanish on the other, we have a poster that you can put up in your classroom as a reminder to you to kind of help teach the babies about these techniques. And then there's a set of cards that will help remind you also of the steps that, and English and Spanish, the steps of the Tucker Turtle technique. And then probably the most popular that you will find is Tucker himself. Hi there, everybody. So Tucker tucks into his shell, and he learns how to breathe and take deep breaths. So we know this might be a little bit of a challenge for babies, but Sandy, you want to tell us a little bit about how they can use Tucker Turtle in their classrooms and in their family childcare homes?
Sure. Don't you think that it's too early? You're like, my infants and toddlers, they are still not talking, but how I can help them to develop self-regulation skills? It's never too early. You know why? Because remember, the infants and toddlers are always watching you. So now you have visual cues and you have steps and exercises to follow to help children to understand there are some steps that they can take to calm down. Your other teachers at the pre-K level will love that work that you do when you start early. In infant classrooms and toddler classrooms, you are describing what you're doing as you're presenting the different exercises. Remember, you'll find the different steps. Step number 1 talks about how you are feeling. Remember, young children, infants and toddlers are always watching you. They're not listening, but they're watching you because they're reading faces. They're reading feelings and emotions. So you're talking about how you're feeling. Are you upset? Are you disappointed? Are you scared? So children are gonna read faces and you are describing how they are feeling, right? One day they'll say happy. Did you happy? You say, I noticed you're happy. Or they'll say mad. You say, I noticed you're mad. So Tucker, first step is to identify how he's feeling. So you're gonna start playing and you're gonna start calling and renaming and labeling feelings and emotions that you will see in infants and toddlers. Then the other step is that Turtle will stop. Can we help our toddlers and infants to understand the stop? Can we play games when they're moving around and you say stop? And then we can dance and stop and give me your hand and stop. Let's go to the changing your diaper so they can understand and stop. These are 2 steps that children will start understanding because you're modeling how to identify feelings, how to stop. Then you will play with the puppet and then you will tell them how to stop and practice breathing exercises. Did you ever practice breathing exercises with your infants, with your toddlers? You know how to smell the flower, blow the candle, or blow, 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 blow the balloon. Can we practice breathing exercises with infants and toddlers? Yes, we do. Remember, you have that physical proximity with infants. You're holding hands with toddlers so that they can feel the physical experience. So that when you are describing how the Tucker technique, how he goes in his shell and he practices the breathing exercises, maybe they don't do the entire inhale, exhale, but toddlers know how to breathe, right? And then they can do that. They maybe cannot do the entire talker shell, but they can cross their arms and they can go into their shells and practice breathing exercises. And then they will feel, you will describe how the body feels, how infants look when they're calm. When you're feeding infants, you can tell them, you are calm now. I notice your body is relaxed. When you're playing with toddlers, you can help children to identify the difference between tense and relaxed, tense and calm. So when you're practicing breathing exercises, you say, now, do you feel how calm you are? I notice, remember, you are describing what you're seeing, what you're practicing. And this is how infants and toddlers will start developing self-regulation skills that they need. This is one of the most important social emotional skills that children will learn during the first 5 years of age.
Awesome. And so we also added a Turtle at Home scripted story so that you can send this home with parents to be able to read and reinforce what you're doing in the classroom. And along with that comes some cards with Tucker with the stop sign to help the parents also reinforce that same skill and then that breathing technique.
Remember, if you're practicing this every day in your classroom, children will start doing this at home. So you can talk about the stop, what are the activities that you can do to stop. Then you can talk to families about how to practice breathing exercises. And what a wonderful transition when families are driving infants and toddlers to the school to practice breathing exercises. Remember, we know you are important and we want you to know tools that also can help you to manage difficult incidents, difficult moments, as well as families. Families will love to practice breathing exercises with young children before they get to school too.
Awesome. And also we included some book sets. So these are board books for infants, and we have Waiting for Baby, My New Baby, Look at Me, and You and Me, or little stories that you can read aloud to children, as well as another set, Amazing Me. And this Amazing Me story is all about positive things to give children that self-esteem, even little infants, reading to them, more and more words and vocabulary are excellent for them to listen to. Right, Sandy?
Yes. Remember, one of the most important social emotional skills that children develop is self-confidence. Children need to know who they are, what are the things that they like, what are the things that they don't like, so that they are in charge, that they know what they can do. How they know that? When you are using positive language and you're telling children what they can do. The Amazing Me books set, it's helping you to describe what are the things that infants and toddlers can do. They can stand up, they can walk, they can reach, they can dance. What are things that infants and toddlers can do? Remember, we need to use more positive language, telling children what to do and how to do it, so they feel confident and they develop self-confidence and they know what are things that they can do in a positive language. So read these books on a daily basis and use that same language when you are observing children performing these expectations and these behaviors, and tell them how wonderful and unique they are. So you're training that inside voice to be a positive voice.
Speaking of that, we have added self-talking phones. So you may be wondering, what are these? Well, these are for putting up to your ear and your mouth and being able to talk into it. And for babies, it magnifies, well, for anyone, it magnifies your voice. And for them to hear themselves, even if they're just babbling and wanting to try to speak, they're realizing that they have a voice and they love this tool. So we put a couple of them in here for you. And Sandy, what do you think about the self-talking phones?
This self-talking phone, try it. You're like, oh, that's cute. No, try it. It has a wonderful feedback sound. And it helps children also to practice not only language and communication. You can ask children to repeat positive attributes about themselves. I am a good helper. I have helping hands. I can smile. I can hold hands. Tell them what to do so that they can repeat at least that last word of the sentence. But also remember that children are learning how to take turns. Don't we love children to learn how to take turns? Do you know what is the most basic turn taking system? When we are having a conversation. Can you call me? Don't your toddlers go around with a piece of block and they're not speaking in sentences, but they're talking. They're like, blah, 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 blah. Can we use the self-talking phone and say, hey, Josh, how are you? Yes, you. Give it time to respond. Remember, infants and toddlers are learning new skills every day. And this turn-taking system using the self-talking phone also will help them to participate in conversations. And then you're intentionally helping children to listen. And now it's your turn. Tell me, how are you feeling today? Don't you think it will be easier for you to have some of these materials around and communicate and integrate some of these wonderful skills into your daily practice? It will be easier. Give it a try.
Awesome. We also added in some mirrors so babies can view themselves and see their own reflection. And so we put a couple of mirrors in there. Sandy, what do you think about mirrors for babies?
Remember that we're helping children to develop emotional literacy. So they're learning how to read faces. So they need to identify their own faces first. Can we help children to point to different body parts? Remember, children need to learn things in themselves first, then to notice pieces in others, then to notice the same details in books, then to notice and see and draw these details and symbols. So if you start placing these mirrors in babies, infants, and toddlers' faces, when they are expressing emotions, you can describe. Remember, you are the perfect broadcasting person to help children to identify what they're doing, how they're doing it, and now they have a feedback. This mirror is a visual feedback. Oh, look at your big round eyes. Oh, look at your, and they can see. They're making connections. You are improving language. You're helping children to identify body parts, but you're promoting a vocabulary of feelings and emotions.
Awesome. And then we also added a baby doll in the kit for them. And what can they do with this besides cuddling and kind of seeing themselves in a doll?
We're adding a little bit for everyone. Remember, you have children who are very active. You have children that like to touch and squeeze things. You like children that would like to hold your hand and listen to what you're saying. So we're adding a little bit for everybody. You have visual learners with the books, auditory learners, but what about babies? Babies need to learn how to, you know, that nice touches. Did you ever try as your toddlers nice touches? And this is what they do. Because the gross motor and fine motor skills that they are developing, they need a little bit of practice. So what about we connect the nice touches, that feeling of empathy and caring for others, holding the baby doll? Now, babies love to feed that baby dolls. So how we can improve and how we can promote taking care of others by modeling with the baby dolls. And children will easily engage in this kind of practices and games because you're offering different activities, you're offering different moments throughout the day to help and support their language development, their fine motor, gross motor, cognitive development, and you're building social emotional skills every time that you're making connections with positive language.
Thank you, Sandy. We want to wish you all the best. And we hope that these materials are going to help you with your babies and your families. And we couldn't be more happy and proud to be part of this grant. We want to wish you all the best.
Thank you for everything that you do every day. Thank you for building those brains full of empathy and love. Thank you for everything that you do every day.
Good luck, everybody. Thank you.